You've been asked to leave politely. You've been asked to leave with a grunt. Now, just fuck off. Just get the f away from me. Get away from my property. Get away from my family. Just fuck off. I don't want to hear what you've got to say. It's 9 p.m. on a bank holiday Monday, but a lovely weekend, and then these people come decide and ruin it for everybody.
So I gotta be honest with you, these situations are always really weird to me because I don't really understand, hey, I'm a fan of this guy, I'm gonna go to his house. He doesn't know me, I don't know him, we've never met before, but I'm gonna go to his house. I'm just gonna sit outside and hopefully if I see him, he's gonna give me a picture, an autograph, or, you know, we might be able to talk to him for a little bit. That shit makes no sense. Why would you think that any person, famous or not, would want you to sit outside their house? And when they ask you to leave, you then get defensive and say, well, this is public property. I can sit on the street as long as I want. First of all, it's like, are you really a fan of this person? Because they're clearly telling you that they're uncomfortable with this. And yet you're now going to fight them on it when the whole point was you wanted to have a friendly interaction. So that right off the bat is extremely weird to me. And not only that, but then they push it to a point where he ends up threatening them and chasing after their car. And this is the clip of that.
I am? No.
Get out! Get out there! I'll rip you down! I'll twist your f***ing head off! All of you get out! I'll rip your head off, you prick!
What the f***? What the f***? Yo, he is mad. What the f***? Man, he's just tried to grab me out the car. Yo, what the f***? He's just trying to grab me out the car.
Now on the surface, without any context around it, it does kind of make him look crazy. He just approaches this car, he starts yelling, saying all this shit, chasing them down. You hear the kid cry. Like, it could make him look bad, except for when you think about the fact they're sitting outside of his house. And it's so weird to me that their excuse is that they wanted to bring their son there to meet Eddie Hall. Because why would you want to show your kids that it's okay to show up at somebody's house that you don't know? It's just, I can't wrap my brain around this as to why people do this shit, because there has to be a part of you that's like, yo, this is weird. Like, why would they want to see some random person just sitting outside of their house? And why would that make them come out and be all friendly with me and be like, hey, I'm so happy that you're here. Let me shake your hand. Like, that's not reality. And I feel like if you think for a second that it makes sense, you don't live in reality. You live in some weird little dreamland where you got some narcissistic tendencies and you think that this makes sense. Now, I was going to read the article that I found with this, but then I realized that Eddie Hall himself uploaded a video on YouTube where he kind of explained the situation.
So as you can imagine, somebody came to my home, three cars with blacked out windows came to my home, outside my house, beeping horns, revving engines, very loud exhausts, and basically sat there for a total of 10 minutes before Alex went out to tell them to go away, very politely, I might add. They then moved from one side of my driveway to the other side of my driveway and stayed there for a further 7 minutes. Okay, this is after they've been asked to leave. And that's when I came out and look, they've been asked to leave politely, asked them again with a bit more frown to it, and they still stayed there for another 7 minutes. So I was in the garden, enjoying a nice fire with my son, smoking a cigar, pretty chill. You know, I've just come back from a fight in Poland. I'm away 80% of the time. I'm literally, I don't live here. You know, I'm rarely here. I literally come here to see my kids. And I was in the garden, having a stogie with my son, just talking really nice things, you know? And then Alex sort of comes to me, tells me what happened. I look on the CCTV and they're still there. So I go down. I've got no intention just to get these people to leave my property. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to aggravate them. I don't want to upset them. I just want them to leave. I want to add that there are kids involved. And up until that last 30 seconds, I did not know kids were involved in the scenario. My wife didn't know there were kids in the car. All the windows are blacked out. No kids said anything. How would we know there were young children in the car? We just didn't know. So I want to go over the video itself, right? It just shows me blowing up a blue BMW driver who is literally parked literally 5 meters from the entrance to my property. And I'm just telling him to leave. You know, I'm just like, I don't want to hear anything they've got to say. You've been asked to leave politely. You've been asked to leave with a grunt. Now just fuck off. Just get the away from me. Get away from my property. Get away from my family. Just fuck off. I don't want to hear what you've got to say. It's 9 p.m. on a bank holiday Monday, but a lovely weekend, and then these people come decide and ruin it for everybody.
Now, I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, he doesn't even need to go any further. All he has to do is say, they're sitting outside of my house. They made my family uncomfortable. We get this all the time. We ask them nicely to leave. They didn't want to leave. Eventually, it elevated to the point where I'm like, just get the F out of here. I don't blame him at all. I think that makes perfect sense. When I was younger, now obviously we weren't going to celebrities' houses and stuff, but we would go and we might roll up some weed just randomly on a side street at night. Some stupid shit. I don't know why in hindsight we did that. But if somebody came outside, which happens sometimes, and they're like, hey, we don't know why you guys are out here. It kind of makes us a little uncomfortable. Or, hey, you guys, can you just move on? We would just apologize and then just move on. There's no reason to try to argue, well, this is a public road and da-da-da. Like, it's so ignorant. Just move on, because you're obviously not going to get what you came for. And so this is your lesson that this was a stupid idea. But he goes even further and he breaks it down from his own security camera footage and shows that his wife went out at one point, tried to talk to them. They had a little yelling back and forth. And then eventually he went outside. And at that point, he wasn't calm anymore because he's like, we've tried the nice way. Now we just want you to get out of here.
Blue BMW X5 parks outside the entrance to my property. So if you wanted to get in or out of my property, you couldn't. It's blocked. Followed very shortly by the black BMW pulls up behind the blue BMW. So as you can imagine, Alex noticed this straight away. She's putting the kids to bed. She's in the bedroom. She sees, hears the engines. Looks out the window. There's beeping going on. And she sees these 3 cars. Okay, watch this gentleman now. He walks around, he veers into the property. I mean, that's quite intimidating, isn't it? 3 blacked out cars turn up, someone comes and leaks into your property like that. What the f would you think? He then goes and talks to the owner of the blue BMW. So this happens at 8:30 p.m. Gates are opening. Alex goes outside to have a word. And so Alex goes out with the dog, rightly so. You know, 3 cars, blacked out windows, people veering in the gate, you don't know what the fuck they want. So Alex goes out with the attack dog. From what she tells me, that unfortunately there is no audio on this section. It's too far away and they're too quiet. The only audio we capture is from the front door for recording conversations with people on our doorstep, okay? So she goes out and she explains to them that, look, you know, we understand your fans. We get people parking outside our house all the time. We had 2 other incidents earlier this day. Luckily, we just say, look, it's a private home, leave us alone. They go. No qualms. They just understand. You know, you say it and they're like, sorry, bye. These guys didn't want to leave. Okay, so Alex goes out, she explains to them, you know, come on, like this is like my kids are trying to get to sleep. You've been out here 9 minutes. You've been revving your engines. There's been cars beeping. Can you please leave? Can you just move on, please? Okay, and apparently the woman was quite argumentative. Just saying to Alex, like, this is a public road, we'll sit where we want, blah, blah, blah. So Alex then comes back in with Wolf, as you can see here. Okay, so 2040, so they've been sat outside the house exactly 10 minutes. Alex has had a word, she starts walking back in. Let's play from there. We thought, you know, you go down and have a nice word, very polite. We thought, well, Alex thought they'd move on. Okay, so on face value, it looks like they moved away from this angle, but wait, there's more angles, just wait, okay? So Alex up the steps, and this is where we've got audio.
We have got cameras, so we will be taking your exit. Keep moving.
It's a public parking.
Yes, I know, but you're sitting outside our gates like a weirdo, look. Move on.
It's this that triggers me. So Alex has obviously had a quiet word down there. They've moved to the other side of the gate. She's come up. She's got more, come on. She just wants to go in and relax, put the kids to bed, sit down, have a cup of tea and chill out. Okay, bank holiday Monday, 9 o'clock at night. What's her response? No, we'll stay. Okay, timestamp, bottom right there is 20 to 9. Now you can see the cars, it looks like they move away, but we're going to swap angles now, you'll see in a second. So this is moving away from the property. 20:47, so they've been sat on the other side of the gate for a further 7 minutes. Now at this point, I am sat in the garden with my son, just enjoying a fire pit, and I was getting ready to go pretty soon, you know, and I've got to go work. And she comes and explains to me exactly what happened. She came and asked them to leave nicely. She told them to leave a bit more abruptly. And then they sat outside the house for a further 7 minutes. I checked the CCTV very quickly. I see what's happened. So I go down, no nonsense. I'm not there to have conversations. The black BMW in front of the blue BMW, I just go straight up to that car and I say, look, buddy, I don't care what you're here for. You've been asked to leave. F off. I don't want to hear it. Just he tries to argue with me about something. I can't remember what he said, but the door opened and it was like, I was just like, mate, like second warning now. If there's a third warning, it's going to get nasty. Just f off. I closed his door. I then walked towards the silver car. And as I'm walking towards the car, I'm like, mate, just f off. Now, as I do that, he actually is like, okay. And he moves and he parks adjacent to the black BMW. So he moves in front of the blue BMW to the like parallel with the black BMW. I then, as you can see in the video, walk up to the blue BMW X5 and that's when the altercation starts. So I want to talk about that conversation a little bit because you've got to bear in mind, they've been outside the house at this point. Let me just forward on here. 20:47:43. So nearly 18 minutes. At this point, they've been outside my house 18 minutes and you can see that blue BMW is still sat there, and that's when I'm having this argument with this blue BMW guy. Okay, so, and again, I don't care what they've got to say. It's 9 p.m. at night. I just want to switch off and relax and go home. I just say to the guy, look, I don't care what you're here for. Just off. And he's like, what? I'm like, mate, just off. You can see the aggression in his face. He's proper like scowling at me, like, just like, how dare you talk to me like this? And I'm like, mate, I don't care what you're here for, just f off, just drive away, just leave me alone. He then goes on to say something like, I just want a picture with my kids. And that's when I clicked that there was kids in the car. That's the first time I knew that there was kids in the car. And I was like, I don't fucking care, mate. What about my kids getting all stressed out watching strangers lurk around their home? So I'm just like, I don't give a f. What about my kids? Just f off. I think I kept saying it 3 or 4 times. Just f off, just f off, just off. And then he starts to crawl away very slowly. He's got this horrible mean look on his face and he went, I'm going to knock you out. And I just saw red. I'm sorry. I saw red. Someone, he's been at my house, he's been outside the property 18 minutes. Harassing us. There's harassment, stalking, revving engines, beeping horns. It's just, come on man, you don't do it. I was so angry. And when he said that to me, I'm going to knock you out. I was like, come on then, get out of the car. And obviously I saw red. I chased him a little bit, or not chase, I walked after him just to make sure he'd go. And then I turned to the black BMW, which is the one who was filming, Callum. Saw he was filming and I thought, oh God, the bastard. So I ran at him. I was just going to grab his phone and throw it in the bush. That was my intention. Didn't want to hurt him, didn't want to damage the car or nothing. And I ran at the car and I didn't even touch the car. It was literally like he just sped off and off they went. And then they continued filming me from up the street, saying I've upset the kids and I've tried to grab him and all sorts. So it's just bullshit, man. Like, that's the truth. That's what happened.
So at the end of the day, when you see how they acted to being asked to leave, just the entire situation, it makes me feel like they weren't there for an autograph or a picture or so their son could see him. It almost makes me question that they just wanted a video like this because they thought it would go viral. I don't know why. Maybe they got social media accounts as well they're trying to blow up. Maybe not, but you have to assume that at this point. In 2025, people do a lot of dumb shit. So I wouldn't be surprised, but this was a horrible lesson for your kids. I don't blame Eddie at all. It's unfortunate that the kids got scared and he did apologize for that and said that wasn't his intention. But at the same time, he wasn't looking to see if there was kids because he probably thinks no one's dumb enough to bring their kid and do some shit like this. Like, who does this? So I don't know. It's just like, don't go to celebrities' houses. Don't go to anybody's house other than people that you know if you've been invited or told that you can go there. Like we're even past the days of just going to someone's house and knocking on the door. Unless you know that you can't get a hold of them through phone, then I guess that makes sense. But nowadays, if someone knocks on my door, I'm like, oh, who the like what? Like nobody texted me, nobody called me. I checked my phone first. You know, back in the day, it was different. You just go knock on the door and be like, hey, is Dave home? Like that was normal. We're not in those days anymore. Like grow up, understand that as an adult, you should be teaching your kids way better shit than to sit outside of some celebrity's house. It makes no sense at all. So I got no remorse for this person. I'm sorry. Anything that happened to your kid, if your kid got scared, if they feel traumatized because some big guy chased the car down, that's on you. That's on you for pulling up and being stupid and going and doing shit that you shouldn't be doing. Like that's an L you got to take. So curious to see what you guys think. I just saw this and thought we'd talk about it really quick because I ain't really have anything else to talk about today. And I was going to skip today, but I figured before I go live, we could fit this in really quick. So appreciate you. Take it easy. I will catch you in the next one.